Welcome back to my channel. Lindsey Doe, listen closely. In 3 seconds, she made a decision about you that your next 3 months can't undo. Not from what you said, not from how you looked, not from the story you told or the joke you landed or the confidence you projected across the room, from the hug, from the specific 3-second experience of being in your arms, the quality of your presence, the intention in your hold, the thing your body communicated that your mouth never got the chance to say. And the decision she made in those 3 seconds, it went straight into a category she doesn't review very often. The good news is you're watching this video, which means you're about to understand something that most men will spend their entire lives not knowing. Something keeps cooling off and you can't figure out where the heat goes. You know this experience. You can feel it as I describe it. Things are going well. The conversation is alive. The eye contact is holding. There's something building between you, something that feels like momentum, like the night is moving in a direction that matters. And then comes a natural moment of physical greeting or goodbye, an embrace that should punctuate the connection beautifully. And instead, something deflates. Not dramatically, not with a visible reaction from her, just a subtle temperature drop, a quality of slight withdrawal that appears in the minutes after. The warmth that was there before the hug somehow, but doesn't fully return after it. You replay the evening trying to figure out what happened. The conversation was great. You were funny. You were present. But something shifted in that brief physical moment, and you can feel the shift even though you can't name its cause. What you experienced is the hug mistake. The specific error not in technique, but in the quality of presence that communicates something to her nervous system that undoes 10 minutes of genuine connection in about 3 seconds. Today, we name it exactly. We explain the psychology behind why it lands the way it does. And we give you a completely different way of being in that moment, one that builds attraction instead of quietly draining it. Her nervous system makes judgments your words can't override. The reason the hug mistake is so lethal to attraction is that it bypasses every rational filter she has. Words are processed consciously. They can be evaluated, contextualized, given the benefit of the doubt. But if you say something slightly awkward, she can rationalize it. Chalk it up to nerves, decide it doesn't represent who you actually are. But physical contact goes somewhere older than language. Her nervous system processes touch before her conscious mind has any input at all. And the verdict that comes back safe or unsafe, present or absent, real or performed, is delivered as a felt sense rather than a thought, which means she can't rationalize it away even if she wanted to. When the hug communicates something her nervous system flags as wrong, disconnected, agenda-driven, hollow, or tense, that verdict is filed in a place that logical reassessment rarely reaches. This is why the hug mistake matters so much more than most men realize. It's not just a socially awkward moment. It's a physiological communication that lands at a level below conscious evaluation and shapes how she experiences everything that comes after. The mistake itself, hugging her body while abandoning the moment, let's name the mistake precisely. It is not about arm placement. It is not about duration or pressure or where your hands go. The hug mistake that kills attraction instantly is this. Your arms are there, but you are not. You initiate or receive the embrace while your mind is somewhere else entirely, already calculating what comes next, wondering how you're coming across, thinking about whether to say something during the hug or wait until after, monitoring the interaction from the outside while your body performs the physical gesture of closeness. She feels all of it, not as a specific thought, as a sensation. The sensation of embracing someone who isn't fully in the embrace, of reaching for physical closeness and finding a body executing a social function rather than a person actually choosing to be near her. And that sensation, that specific experience of physical proximity without genuine presence, is one of the most deflating things the nervous system can register in a moment that was supposed to build connection. The mistake is not what your arms do. It's where your consciousness goes while your arms are doing it. 3. Why men make this mistake, the psychological root understanding why this happens, is essential, not to excuse it, but to actually change it. Most men, in moments of physical contact with someone they're attracted to, experience a sudden surge of self-consciousness. The stakes feel higher. The performance anxiety that was being managed at conversational distance suddenly becomes acute at physical proximity. And the response to that anxiety is almost universally the same. The mind evacuates the present moment and goes into management mode. Is this going well? How long should this last? Should I say something? What does she think of this? These are all questions about the hug from the outside. And the moment you're watching the hug from the outside, you've left the inside of it. You've abandoned the moment precisely when your presence in it mattered most. The irony is devastating. The anxiety comes from caring too much about how it goes, and that caring pushes you out of the very presence that would make it go well. What she's actually looking for in those 3 seconds, here's what her nervous system is measuring in the brief window of a hug, whether she's conscious of it or not. She's measuring settledness, the quality of a man who is completely at home in the moment he's in, whose body is relaxed rather than performing relaxation, whose arms hold with genuine warmth rather than social correctness, whose presence inside the embrace communicates without words, without effort. I am actually here. You are actually the thing I'm most aware of right now. That quality cannot be manufactured. It can only be inhabited. And inhabiting it requires letting go of the outside perspective, the anxious monitoring, the self-conscious management, and actually arriving in the physical moment that's happening. When she feels that settledness in a man's embrace, even briefly, even in a casual goodbye, hugs something in her, registers it at a level that is almost chemical. This person is present. This person is real. Being close to this person feels like something. That something is what attraction is made of. And it lives or dies in 3 seconds. The secondary mistake, making it awkward by overthinking the exit. There's a second layer to the hug mistake that compounds the first, and it happens. Specifically at the moment of release. Men who are self-conscious during a hug often make the ending of it awkward in a way that amplifies the disconnection. They either exit too abruptly, pulling back before she has, creating a slightly jarring energy, or they don't exit cleanly, creating a hovering, uncertain half moment where neither person knows what comes next. Both variations communicate the same thing. He was managing this experience rather than being inside it, a settled, present. The embrace ends the way it ends, following her lead, releasing with the same warmth with which it began, transitioning back to the ordinary flow of the interaction without creating a moment that needs to be recovered from. The exit is part of the hug, and the exit reveals as much about your inner state as the embrace itself. 6. The agenda hug and why she detects it immediately. There is a specific variation of the hug mistake that needs its own discussion because it's particularly damaging to attraction. It's the hug that has an agenda. The embrace that isn't really an embrace. It's a vehicle for something else, for getting physically closer, for lingering in contact longer than the social moment warrants, for communicating desire through physical access that hasn't been earned yet. She detects this variation with extraordinary accuracy and extraordinary speed because the agenda hug feels different from the inside. Instead of the warmth and settledness of genuine presence, she feels the specific quality of being used as an object for someone else's experience, of being held not because the moment called for it, but because he wanted to hold her. And that detection, instantaneous, reliable, entirely accurate, creates a physical response in her nervous system that is the precise opposite of attraction. It creates the need to create distance, to recalibrate the amount of physical access this person should have. The agenda hug doesn't just fail to build attraction. It actively builds aversion. And aversion is extraordinarily difficult to walk back. Keep the hug clean. Let it be exactly what the moment calls for, no more, no less. Trust that genuine presence inside an appropriate embrace builds more attraction than extended contact driven by agenda ever could. How the right hug actually builds attraction. Now let's talk about what the correct version looks and feels like, because understanding the mistake without understanding the alternative leaves you with nowhere to go. The hug that builds attraction is characterized by 3 qualities that are entirely internal rather than technical. The first is arrival. You are actually in the moment before your arms go around her. You haven't skipped ahead to what comes after or stayed behind analyzing what came before. You are here in this specific 3-second window as fully as you can be. The second is intention without agenda. You're holding her with genuine warmth, the warmth of a person who is glad specifically to be in this moment with this person without that warmth pointing toward anything. It's complete in itself. It doesn't need to become anything else to be worth having. The third is ease. Your body is not performing. Your shoulders are not held. Your breathing is actual breathing. You occupy the embrace with the ease of someone who is comfortable being close, not because you rehearsed it, but because you are genuinely, completely present inside it. These 3 qualities cannot be mimicked, but they can be cultivated. And they are cultivated not by practicing hugs, but by practicing presence in your daily life, in ordinary moments, in the accumulation of choosing to actually be where you are, instead of managing how it looks from somewhere else. 8, the longer game. What presence in small moments builds over time? Let's zoom out for a moment, because the hug is a microcosm of something much larger. Every small moment of physical contact, every brief touch, but casual proximity, every 3-second embrace is a vote. A vote that registers in her nervous system as either this person is present or this person is somewhere else. And votes accumulate. 50 moments of genuine presence accumulate into a felt sense of safety and attraction that defies rational explanation. She can't tell you why she feels drawn to him, she just does. She can't articulate what it is about being near him that feels different from being near other men, but it does. What responding to is the accumulation. The consistent pattern of a man who shows up fully in the small moments that most men are too distracted or too self-conscious to inhabit. You build that reputation not by being impressive in the big moments, but by being genuinely present in the small ones. And the hug brief, social, apparently insignificant, is one of the small ones that carries more weight than anyone who hasn't studied this would ever guess. The hug mistake isn't about your arms, about your absence. An absence, the specific absence of a man who is physically close but mentally somewhere else, is something she has been detecting her entire adult life. In every hollow embrace, every distracted moment of closeness, every time she was held by someone who wasn't really holding her, she knows the difference between being hugged and being held, between a body going through the gesture and a person actually choosing the moment. Now you know the difference too. But knowing it is the first step toward being the man whose embrace she leans into instead of endorse. The man she thinks about afterward because something about being near him felt genuinely different from being near everyone else. That something is presence. It was always presence. Stop managing the moment. Start inhabiting it. And watch what 3 seconds of genuine settledness builds in her that 3 months of effort couldn't. If this shifted something in how you think about physical connection, but it actually communicates, subscribe. Every week on this channel, we go deep into the psychology of attraction, presence, and the small moments that either build something real or quietly dismantle it. You're paying attention now. That's the whole beginning.